let's move on to something else. We're going to move on about something that has not been talked about a lot. Of course, it's something that's quite new to me as well. I learned about this only merely a few years ago, and I was quite shocked that this thing exists. Of course, we're going to focus on mental health and its awareness, and of course, when it comes to postpartum depression, when it comes to new mothers.
Yeah, exactly. Not just for mothers, of course. When you talk about new parents, especially in today's day and age, there's a lot of things that needs to be considered. There's a lot of things that needs to be mindful of, especially when you just have a new member of the family, a child, maybe a girl or a boy. As much as you want to cater to the newborn, you do want to make sure that you cater to yourselves as well. So hence why mental health is actually a very, very important topic that needs to be adhered to, needs to be voiced out, so that all of these new parents, they really understand what it is that's going on, and a lot of people understand where they're coming from as well, and they need to be taken care of as well. Hence why we have a couple of very influential guests to talk about this particular topic about new parents' mental health. We have, first of all, ANITA Abu Bakar, the president and founder of MIASA Malaysia. ANITA, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we have a brand new mother for about a year.
Brand new.
Yeah, brand new. HANISA BEGAM and NAJIB Mohammed. And thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you so much.
Again, first of all, congratulations on being a mother. How's the feeling been so far?
The feeling so far, of course, is an amazing journey for me, because I've been waiting for this moment for about more than 6 years for me to become a mother.
Alhamdulillah.
So it was a very amazing journey, but at the same time, it's quite challenging because of the knowledge itself of being a mother. I need to learn a lot.
Sure, of course, of course. I mean, yeah, because when we talk about this whole mental health, because most of the time, Nabil, I think we've had guests on the show when we talk about mental health in work, in the workplace, you know, between daughters and fathers, or even, especially during COVID at that time. But one thing about this topic that we want to specify on is about new parents, new mothers, new fathers. And to come to you, ANITA, what are the common mental health challenges that new parents actually face? Because again, we just spoke offline. You are not so new
Not
parent.
so new, Mum.
Same like I am. I mean, like we're not old enough to be
we're not
considered
old.
as new.
We're young at heart.
We're young
at heart.
We're
yes.
always young at heart. So what are the new challenges that new parents actually face now, to your opinion and to your own research?
First and foremost, being a parent, it's an extraordinary experience, all in all. It's amazing when you see, you know, your child for the first time. It's really just for your benefit.
Everybody's looking at Nabil right now. So.
It's really the best experience, the best moment in your life. But with that, obviously, MEOR, it comes with lots of challenges, especially if you come unprepared, right? Because when you're a first-time parent, you think it's easy, probably, because it's a wonderful experience, you know, it's something new, it's a beautiful, amazing, like what HANISA said, but the mental health challenges might come in ways like sleep deprivation. Now, a lot of times when, you know, when I was pregnant, as an example, a lot of people say, okay, now is the time for you to get all the sleep that you can, possibly, you know, but I never understood what it meant until I got a child, and especially if your baby is, as an example, a colic baby. Right, very difficult going to sleep, you know, constantly waking up. So sleep deprivation is one. Two, the anxiety that comes with a lot of uncertainties, right, within that period. Confinement period, for me at least, and for many moms, it can be more difficult than giving birth itself, especially if you lack the support, you don't come with that knowledge or a handbook in that sense. Now, what is more challenging than that is if you go through what we call postpartum blues, which 50 to 85%, at least 80% of women go through that, but it resolves itself within 2 weeks. However, when it prolongs, then postpartum depression can hit. So this is when you feel maybe isolation, feelings of guilt, you know, sadness, so on and so forth, and that can prolong. And it can kick in. The onset could be, you know, about 4 weeks in, up to a year. And then one of the other things that people don't talk a lot about, but this is in Bahasa, we say apa yang meroyan
Yes.
contohnya, right? Is actually also a medical condition. It's called postpartum psychosis.
Right.
So this is when you feel disengaged with your baby, you're not able to bond in that sense,
Yeah.
and then that feeling of maybe suicidalness kicks in, or maybe being homicidal in that sense because hallucinations, delusions, paranoia kick in. So a lot of things can happen if you don't have that necessary support and also knowledge, tools, and also skills. So it's not really easy. It can potentially be challenging and really difficult, but it's hard for parents to admit it because of societal pressures again and expectations.
And yeah, of course, and we gotta say we are very lucky because we do have a new parents in the house.
Yes.
Of course, let's shift our focus on Hanisa. Because Hanisa, if you don't mind sharing with the people at the studio, in the studio, and so the people at home, how was your mental state?
Okay.
Maybe,
During that time, right?
Let's talk about during that time, right after the birth of
I
your.
won't deny, like every mother or every parent, even a father, they went through a baby blues, we call it. Like it's a normal for everyone to have the baby blues.
Yes.
It's like, it's not normal if you say you don't go through baby blues because we go through adjustment. Because like Puan Anita said, like, okay, people come and tell us, like, you will go through sleep deprivation, so you better you sleep now. I don't understand why you guys keep saying this, oh, you're gonna enjoy your sleep now, so you, after that, like, you cannot sleep anymore. I really don't understand until like my baby keep waking up at night. Then the only people that actually can give me the real answer for this is actually the pediatrician. So when I went to my baby vaccine, I asked the doctor, like, why like my baby is keep waking up? What is it wrong? Like, did I do anything wrong? Is it like the milk is not enough? Oh, baby said the doctor said the baby's stomach is very small, so that's why like, they need to be fed every few hours. It depends, more frequently. So depend on the baby. So that make me feel, oh, okay, I'm not doing anything wrong. Also, that moment, I feel like I'm okay to wake up at night just to feed my baby. So then I really feel better. So my mental condition that time, yes, I would say like I will easily snap. Because like,
Irritable, right?
Easily irritable, because the changes and everything, it's like, you don't expect this to happen. So even though there is a lot of people at home, there's a support, but I do have the anxious feeling where I feel like when the baby is with someone else, I have an intrusive thought like, okay, are they like holding it correctly? Are they like actually wash their hand? And I remember that's one time I want to put my baby aside in the baby cot when he wants to sleep. I remember like I couldn't sleep. I keep checking on him. Like, is this okay? Because, I watch a lot of video, like nowadays, like all the information available on your fingertips.
Yeah.
So you can just like, TikTok has a lot of like information there. So I learned about the sudden infant death, the SID. So that's made me actually anxious. Then finally, I just put him on the bed. And that's also basically, I really couldn't sleep because I was keep checking on him. Probably because a new mother, I don't even really know actually how to cope with that. So I just like, it's okay. I will just sleep when everyone is awake later on.
Yeah. So this is one thing. I mean, like, I'm sorry because like the whole time that you were talking of that, I mean, like it only, I could only smile at that point because again, like what we have established, Anita, that we're not really like new parents.
We're not.
We've gone through this already, and unfortunately nowadays the fact that that's when there's too much information.
I know. As I'm listening to Hanisa
I
as well.
remember the first time that there were only books.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that it can get printed out. But right now, because literally even TikTok.
Yes.
TikTok is a source of
I read the Dummies book, okay? You remember those Dummies, the whole series? Yeah.
So my question to that is because of the enormous amount of information out there and can be, I mean, it has shown that it can be overwhelming for new parents out
definitely.
there. So obviously these kind of things can contribute to stress in other sorts of ways because again, every mother or every parent out there will try to be as perfect as they possibly can, isn't it? And that's a whole lot of pressure on them.
Oh, definitely. I think that parents today face more stress and pressure because of the birth of social media, because there's a lot of comparisons that can happen, right? So we are pressured into becoming the perfect parent, and because we tend to read so much, because there's influx of information, that we try to, as much as possible, mirror that perfect parenting, and that's why a lot of parents don't or can't admit openly that they're struggling, and we see this a lot at MIASA, and this is when different mental health challenges kick in, the anxiety, the depression, not just postpartum depression, because it can delay, right? Because constantly feeling overwhelmed or anxious or sadness or guilt, excessive guilt, that in itself can lead to depression way later on, not necessarily just during that confinement period or during your child's really young, because there's more challenges are bound to come later on as well, because now you're a new parent, then you got to go start back to work, or you're a stay-at-home mom and you're with your child 24/7. So it's unsurmountable, really. There's so much challenges, and I hope parents please reach out. It's okay to not be okay. You must reach out, especially if you're feeling pressured, you don't know where to seek for help. And I find a lot of mothers constantly telling me, when my baby cries, I cry too, because they don't know how to channel it, and they're not reaching out, they're not speaking out. We're not normalizing conversations that parents do struggle as well, without it sounding like they're complaining, MEOR. Right? So this is what we would like to normalize as well, seeking help.
I think it's great to see that HANISA has aligned yourself with you, ANITA, because you're the founder of MIASA, Mental Illness Awareness and Support Association.
Right.
But maybe in your own experience, HANISA, how did you get out of it? Because you went through that phase, and what made you, become you again?
Okay, become me. My period don't really last long, like go to until the clinical period, of course. But
how long was that, if you don't mind me?
It was like 2 weeks, around like that, 2 weeks. But then the adjustment was keep going on, and the anxiety was always there, because like, thinking about all the changes, everything, it was always there. But how I cope, because there is a lot of conflicting information, like this person saying this parent saying this, and then online is something else.
That auntie saying this,
yes, this auntie
that saying that.
So it's a lot of information which is really conflicting, until finally I just follow what I feel and what is good, what I feel good. And then I just try that, and then I feel better, so much better. I don't try to confirm everybody's opinion. I just listen, and then I just decide which one is best, and I just do that. And that actually make me really much better. And the advice from the professional, because when I go to see the doctors and all that, I always ask things like, okay, if I heard like people say this, what is your opinion? So I always ask the doctor's opinion as well, just to see what is actually their opinion actually. And then they will say, you can just follow the way, it's nothing wrong if you do this. So that actually makes me feel better. So talk to someone who's actually willing to listen to you, and at the same time know how to advise you. I think that's actually make me feel better and make me come out of it.
You actually address your concerns with experts, and I think that's one good way to go.
It's so interesting listening to HANISA, because for us, we ask our parents.
I think we're bonding like that.
I think we're bonding,
the old people on the show.
And my mom's like, dulu mami macam ni, okay je, kamu okay je.
My God, those are the
It's just
the
one rule for everything.
Everything goes. Okay, let's change gears a bit, because of course, I mean, like there's no other person that is more important to a new child than the mother, of course. But now I want to bring the fathers into the play right now, because again, me championing with all the fathers of the world, we just want to understand and ask your opinion about this, because like it or not, this is a partnership between the mother and the father. It is true that the mother carries more responsibilities, the mothers who are feeding the baby, the mothers who has a special connection with the baby, but the fathers sometimes, most of the times, unfortunately, they feel like they
left out.
They feel left out. They feel useless. Like they have nothing else to do apart from giving, bringing water or bringing whatever food, and that's the job of the father, basically. So people tend to forget that we fathers do also feel quite stressed out because of the situation. Because again, the wives gripe to the husbands. We get yelled at more often than not, not just by the babies but by the wives as well. So your opinion about making sure that the men or the fathers are taken care of as well. What do you think?
First of all, credit to the men, because during the first phase, it seems like the wife, the mother, is doing much of the responsibility. But really the dads later on, you're the protectors, you're the breadwinners, typically, in families. So without the men, like you said, it's a partnership. Now, with men, it's difficult for men to talk about emotions, right? It's difficult for men to be vulnerable. So I would encourage men, if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling left out, tell your wife, tell the people around you, okay, if we don't know how to make you involved, not because we don't want to, because there's so much happening here, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to lose the weight, we're trying to breastfeed our child, we're trying to make sure the child's safe. So if husbands don't express how they're feeling, then we're not able to cater for that at the current moment, right? 2, find other means to be involved. Like you said, just taking water, but maybe say, okay, I can be involved in this way. So maybe communicate what you're able to contribute. I think communication is so important during this time, especially when both are struggling, both have their needs. So a lot of times that communication doesn't happen, and we see this a lot. Now, for the woman, sometimes the new moms, they don't know how to communicate certain things to the husband because they feel the husband maybe doesn't understand because he's a man. So for the woman, even for me, in my own experience, I had a friend who was my support system during the time because I didn't want my husband to feel like I'm whiny or complaining or whatever.
Which he still thinks of. I mean, like, I assume. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He doesn't, but I know he's going through a lot and he wants to be with us, you know, but he has to go to work, you know. Can you imagine being a new dad and you're not able to have that ample time with your newborn child, right? You only get, what, 3 days or 7 days now? Yeah, so I think men do struggle, but men need to express and communicate what they want and how they would like to be involved as well. Yeah.
Sure.
And I think maybe for Hanisa, you can maybe tell the parents out there, new mothers out there, what would you do better if you were to have a second pregnancy, you know, anytime in the future, if that were to happen? Like how would your preparation differ this time around?
I like this question. Very good
How
question.
my preparation will be different? It probably, because I already have the experience. So from this experience, I will actually prepare my support system. And I already know like who is actually my support system.
Right.
I already identify who is actually my support system right now. For example, there are so many people, but I know who I can rely with. So I choose my support system. And my support system, not necessarily my family members, is also like a friends and also my colleagues and those who I can rely to ask questions. And also to get information. And other thing, like even before I'm about to get this baby, I already educate my husband about certain things. The certain knowledge that I already know about the raising the child and everything. So I think I will continue to do this education to my husband because it's always a learning period also for me. So that we can actually improve always.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one stressful thing that all of us need to adhere to, that we're almost running out of time here right now.
Yes.
But before we leave you two ladies, aside, we do want to give you another chance. I mean, like, what can you actually share with our fellow audience? Just last tidbits on trying to keep your mental health checked all the time from either one of you, please.
Okay. All right. For those of you who are struggling, from MIASA Malaysia, we're ready to help. Please reach out. You can call us 24/7 at 1-800-1800-66. And please know that help is available, support is available. But most importantly, please communicate your needs. And this moment that you're struggling, it will pass, inshallah.
All right, lovely. Thank you so much to ANITA Abu Bakar, President and founder of MIASA Malaysia, together with HANISA Begam and NAJIB MOHAMMAD. A new mother, not new anymore, quite experienced already.
Yeah, quite experienced
1 year.
Thank you, our ladies in blue, because we are, a bit of a same theme here, all blue here. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
And we
Thank you
do
so
hope
much.
that, you stay the course and educate and encourage people to stay healthy.
Yes.
Not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
It seems like what we've learned is that sharing is caring, but now you're sharing to care about yourself. So you can do that too.